now we get to work on the front cover, and I am very excited. I'll show you in a little while the snippet roll I made for this front cover. But first, we are going to try to keep that from clanking. Okay, first I am, all my papers are too short, so I am going to cut, and I need one on each side, both front and back, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm going to cut 8 1/2-inch strips off of this, ink them all up and put them down, and then I'll come back. So if you guys have the 12 by 12 paper, or if you have the panoramic view 8.5 by 11 papers, you won't have to do this. But me, with all of mine horizontal, which I will not do again, I need to do this. So I'll be right back. I did have to print out another one of these sheets, and so while I was at it, since I can, I printed out quite a few other things to fussy cut out for when we get ready for tags. So, because some of the papers, because I was kind of making my own, I didn't print out some of the papers, but when I went back and looked through the papers, I said, ooh, some of those things are pretty for on the tags. So I printed out some of the papers that I didn't print out before. So I have that for tags, and I've been putting all my tag stuff in a folder. Let me get that in the folder. There we go. Okay, so that gave me, this was one of the card pages that I didn't cut out, but so I said, well, that'll be fun to add that back in. Cut out everything, but I still have this little piece. And then this is one that I didn't cut out, but I thought I could use some of these flowers, and of course a little bit of lace there. And I did cut out another one of these just because I love this print. So that will take care of that. Oh, and I printed out another envelope. I think I printed out 2 envelopes, but I don't know what I did with the other one, so we'll come across it later. And then I printed out this page that I hadn't printed out before, and this page, just sharing them with you so you can see, it's a really pretty kit. So anyway, so now I have a few more of those papers that I can use, and this is a little different. I just changed my my printer cartridge while I was printing another pack, and so I'm seeing that this is different. But maybe I will use this new one on the inside, and all of this original one that I had. Let's see, are either one of these, well, this one looks just like this. This was a second cutting. So yeah, I think we'll be good. My husband's having trouble with the puppies. So I needed one more inch piece, because I know I said a 1/2 inch, and a few of these I actually just put the 2 pieces together because I did cut out 1/2 inches. And I'll show you what I'm doing with the other 1/2 inch of this one. Let's see it. Where is it? Okay. And I think, let's see. Let me see here. Which one of these matched up? No. So it must be this one. Well, it matches up pretty well. Okay, so this one I will be using. All right, hold on. Okay, let me see if I can remember where I was. tell you, when you can't be every place at once. Okay, so this, if you remember, I want her coming out of this window. So the placement is going to be really well, I hope, really well thought out. And I will have this here, and of course this one on the other side. And it comes into where I'm going to cut. So I am going to attach these two onto pieces of paper, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and finish out these three just so I have them done, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to put here so we can go ahead and make this cut. I know what I'm doing here. It's the lady, and then I'll show you my snippet roll if I can find it in all this mess, and then we'll just have this. Okay, so let me finish this and I'll be right back with you. Okay, and I had already planned on using this sheet on this page. I am going to have to cut these down just a little bit in on this direction, and then I'm going to put a piece of this in the center, and so there'll be two photo mats here. And so basically I just took the piece of paper and I folded it over and cut it. I do want them to be the same length. And that one actually is, I mean, it just needs just a sliver. I'm going to cut both of these at the same time so that they'll all be the same. And let's see, I am recording and you can hear me. Yay! That's always fun. That's always a good thing. Alright, let's flip these around. And we'll just want a sliver off of those. There we go. And then, let's see. Okay, and then I'm going to, oh boy, let me see, these are not very square, or at least it doesn't come off looking very square. So give me a sec here, let me just check it. No, they are. I am going to cut a little bit off of this one. There we go. And so we'll make sure, so I cut off a little bit, just a sliver off the sides of both of them at the same time so that they're the same width. And then I cut a little bit off of this one. So I want this one to be the same size. So I'm just going to put a mark, and I'm just going to cut to the inside of that mark. All right. Yeah, it goes this way. Here and here. There we go. I'm going to ink the edge. You won't see anything but the edge on that. Let's get these to be the same length. And ink this side. All right. So let me just find the center of my paper. So the center of my paper is right about here. And right about here. All right, so all I'm going to do, what I'd love to do is add flaps on this, but I don't have enough room. If you want to expand out your sides a little bit more, like another 1/4 of an inch, you could put flaps here and place these on the flaps and then have a whole nother sheet there. But I don't think I'm going to, because I don't have a lot of room. So I want this picture to be away from my center. I guess my jingly thing tape is not working very well. So that's why I put the marks there, so I could eyeball about a 1/4 of an inch. And I know this one is longer than this little piece. I cut it incorrectly, but I am going to put a bit of this this ribbon here, right here, because I think I have the room, because this is lowered down below this. So, and I think I'll like it. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I am wanting this about a 1/4 inch, because this piece, where'd I put it? Right here. This piece is 3/4 of an inch, so it will definitely be just fine to yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this down, and we'll just mark. If you want to, if you're not very good, like I'm not very good, you want to find your center. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it using my, take a pencil and place your mark right where the center is. And you can do it on both sides. And this is just a easy way of not measuring, but finding your centers and lining something up properly. All right, so I'm just going to match mark to mark. And I want the space that I leave to be the same. Let's see. Right there. All right. All right, okay, now I'm not going to do it on camera. I need to go ahead and ink these around, and then I'll be back and we will work on making this work. All right, guys, be back in a second. Okay, so I've done the one, and I'm just going to do this next one. And I'm just eyeballing again the center about a 1/4 of an inch away from, I left the dots on top of my paper. This little center strip here. Boy, that does not look like I put that on very straight, does it? Yeah, that's not on very straight, but I think it'll work. Yeah, I think it'll still work. I think this is pretty straight, actually. So let's just see if I can leave it. No, I think I'm going to have to put more glue down. Let's see. Yeah, that is not straight at all. Don't know what happened there. But that is pretty straight there. Okay, let's get some more glue on this. with this paper being watercolor paper, I definitely do suggest, if you are using it, to use quite a bit of glue, because it doesn't like to stick very well at first, and if you don't stay on it, it won't, and then you'll have little air bubbles in your stuff. It looks like this little piece of top paper needs a little bit of glue. Quite a bit, actually. And I have to remind myself that that's just copy paper. So I have to be very careful with it. Genteel until it dries. When it's wet, you know, it's just copy paper. So, alright. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put down my ribbon. And how I'm going to do that is just start up at the top of the paper, and I'm going to try and get down in a straight line to the bottom of the paper. Cut my tape off without cutting my book. We don't want to do that. Okay. My goodness gracious, guys, I have been so crazy busy. I'm putting my Etsy shop back up. And so trying to keep up with my crafting, which of course is fun, and then putting up the Etsy shop, which of course is not fun. Okay, what did I do with my lace? Okay, what did I do with my lace? Well, my goodness. I tell you, because I will move all this over, and then I do here it is, and then I do some Etsy stuff, and then I move all the Etsy stuff away, have that in boxes behind me on the floor. And then I work on my Etsy shop. But I have been dying to finish this so I can get it up. And I've already started prepping for my next. I'm going to do a short collaboration with one of the gals on my Facebook group page. And I hope you guys will check her page out. She's just starting out. Well, I don't know exactly how long, but she does not have very many subscribers. And so she and I are going to do a little collaboration. It ought to be fun. We're going to both have the same papers. And then we're going to do what we want with them. So you'll be able to follow, both of us, so that you can see what possibilities they are. I really like her ideas and stuff. I did watch a few of her videos. So, yes, I like that. Looks very nice. I like that a lot, and I don't think it's going to be any kind of interference. Now, the next thing before I put anything else on, I need to think about magnet placement, because I will forget. Now, in my Etsy shop, I hope to have these. I'm calling them magnet sliders. As this thing grows, if you put a magnet here and have the matching magnet, and this thing grows so that your pages, you know, don't match up, you're not going to be able to connect that magnet for a lot longer. This, your magnet will be able to slide up and down and still have a metal piece. I mean, this amount of length might be overkill. So, but I believe this is the length that I'm going to be able to have these at. But you could certainly cut it in half. But I'm using the extra large. These are these ones are the basic grays, but you know, it doesn't really matter which magnets you have as long as they're thin. So I'm going to use 3 magnets and then 3 of these magnet sliders, so that it doesn't matter how far the book grows to. Let's see, put that back in my magnet drawer. That because of these sliders, the magnet will still fall on something that it can catch. Okay, so let's first put the magnets down where we want them. Alright, and I know I'm going to want one in this corner. And these will work either way. See? So you don't have to pay attention to what side you're putting down or anything like that when you use these. However, you do need to make sure that the paper, that you only have a certain amount of thickness of paper between your magnet and the magnet slider, the metal piece, because it's not as strong as magnet to magnet. Okay, so, and I actually should have thought about, oh, come on and get off of there already. There we go. I should have thought about my magnet placement right here, but I will just have to hide it with something. But I know I need one. Ooh, I don't want it there. I want it right in that center area. There we go. Okay, so one there. Okay, and then I want one probably about here. And then I'll have one on the bottom. And using the sliders also makes it a lot cheaper, that you're not having to use just 2 magnets, which to me for this particular book wouldn't be enough, but you'd have to have 4 magnets or 6 magnets. So, and then I'm going to put this one right about there. You always want to think of having enough space around this for your paper to seal nicely. All right. So now when we hold this, and you know it's not going to get any smaller than this. So what I'm going to do is kind of the same way that we put magnets on. Okay, first I'm going to hold these in place, and just extra security, and it helps keep the paper from tearing around the magnets. All right, that's a little too, oh, come on now. Let's see. Nope. I have to be very, very careful. Okay, there we go. So, now I'm going to take this, will go like this. So I want this end to come all the way up to the top. I don't really need this big of a piece, but that's all right. I need this one end to come all the way to the top of the magnet, okay? And it kind of sucks its way. Oh, it's really sucking its way along there because it's stronger where the paper isn't. So let's just do one at a time. And I'm going to kind of hold this where I want it. And that is going to get on this paper, so I will have to come up with a different plan of operation for that. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to try and pull this up because I don't know. I know I won't be covering that much of this page. So I'm going to leave that right where it's at. And I'm going to put my double-sided tape over the top of it right there. And I'm going to lift this up and put glue down. And that will also give it some good hold. Excuse me. Give that a second. And okay. So I think I'll do kind of like that. And I do want this to stay straight. So there we go. Pull that back up. I'm just going to lift it up enough to get some glue underneath there. And you do want it to be relatively straight. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight because it will still be able to slide down it. All right. Well, let me just double check that I am nice and square here. And I am. Okay. So now with the sliders though, as this grows, this won't stay closed, but let's see. Oh, this one went too far back. That's the issue. Wait a minute. Let me see. Oh, it pulled up my paper. So actually, I'm thinking for this cover, my magnets won't, these magnet sliders won't work because it's not going to hold the book closed nicely. So I will just do magnet to magnet, but I'll put the magnet where it will allow it to have a little bit of closure. So let me go ahead and grab those back. There we go. All right. So sorry. Excuse me. My allergies. So I'm going to put the tape this way. Let's wait until I get one of the magnets. Go ahead and there we go. And then we're going to do that. We can go ahead and do all of them. Got that paper to paper side so they don't slide very easily. Well, that was good. That took the paper right off. That made it easy. Okay, so there's that one. Let me get this paper off this one. Oh, that was easy. Very nice. Make sure. No, see, now that one's going to want to go that way. So that must have been a plus. That must have been a plus. So that's why it's always good to check. All right, so I'm going to put it this way. And I want not tight. I'm not pulling it tight, but I want it straight. And then just carefully, oh, that one didn't catch. Peel your magnet back and give these a good down. There we go. All right, so we have our magnets, and that is definitely going to help us keep this closed. All right, so what I don't, oh, this is the right one. What I don't use, let's see. What I don't use in the front, I'm going to use over here. No. What I don't use over here, I'm going to use on the front. Blah, 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 blah. So, but more than likely, I will probably use this piece for in the front, because I don't think it will leave me just quite enough room. Now, and I'm definitely not going to be covering those. So, I might cut like these two flowers out and lay one here and one up there. That might be a nice cover up for that, I do believe. So yeah, but then that means I'm gonna have to print out, well, maybe I'll just use one of my other sheets. Okay, let's work on this. See, where am I? 19 minutes. Let me get prepared for this and I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so the first thing I did was close this up, and I did a little pencil mark right in there. And you can also do it on this side if you'd like. Just on the bottom piece. I did not mean, where's my eraser? Did not mean to get it on my top, because that will show. Don't need that part to have writing on it. Okay. So I have it. I don't know if you can see it, but I can. And then I'm placing her right about where I want her. So I know she's going to be in there. So I can go ahead and cut this first sheet of paper. The first bit of paper that we're going to need. So let's see what that leaves me. So it leaves me one flower to cut out for this. And this, if I eyeball it and get it put down, now let's see where it lands. Oh, perfect. Isn't that going to be just adorable? Okay, so I have her where I need her. And then, I think I found, oh, here it is. Here it is. Here is my snippet roll that I made. So this will be the front, right like that. I love my snippet roll. I don't know that I'm completely finished with it, but I think I am. I might add a few more beads. Not positive yet. But I sewed everything on. Well, I tacked down with some fabric tack all of the stuff, and then I sewed it. You can see the stitches in there. Yeah, so I sewed and caught little pieces because I did want things that would move. And I got a little flower here. But it's very delicate, so you can't really tell that it's a flower. But it's cute. It's cute. I'm happy with it. So anyway, so that's where we're going with that. Now, for the front here, now that one almost works perfectly. And that would put the flower, you'd get most of the flower. Yeah, you would get most of the flower. And then you would have a purple line here and here, which I don't know. Could I do that and still use a flower to cover up my magnets where I would get a purple line? I mean, I would definitely have to cut because I need to have her right where I have her. I think I might do that. It's going to be just something a little different, and it'll bring that purple back in, this plummy stuff back in the front, just a little bit more. So, I'm going to mark right there and right there. And if I do the flower and then do that one, I think it'll work. I'll make it work. All right, guys, be back in a second. Okay, so now we are going to line up this, yeah. Where am I? Okay. We've got this piece here. Oh, and I did think I had already cut it, but let me get this the same width as my strips. All right. Double check it. Okay. So, dip, 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 dip. Where am I? Okay. So, I need to put this here. Line it up where I'm going to want it. And let me double check. Oh, yeah. This needs to be, let me find my, is this my bottom for this one? No, it was not my bottom for this one. Or did I leave that one as my bottom? No, I think this is my bottom for this one. Let's see, I think I was gonna line them right up like that, but no, this one won't line up. Alrighty. Well, I tell you, what I might do is just re-glue another piece down so that I've got a full inch, and it's because it's the top of my book. I don't want it to look funky. So I'm going to cut this one. See, and you can always do that too. Unless it's really thick paper, which this is not. This is probably 65 pound. And that way we'll look a little nicer. Let's see, did I do it? Yes, I did. So let's give this a little edge here. I started to do this last night. I was so tired. I said, you know what? This is going to be a little intricate for me, so I need to make sure I don't screw it up. So I am going to put this down. I can't glue it yet, which is another good thing why I didn't have that glued. I mean, why I'm re-gluing. So I want this exactly on top of the other one. Oops. And I'm going to put the clips on there. And now first thing I need to do is cut this down so that I have just like this other piece that I cut down. So I have a little bit of purple showing. Yeah, I think I'll cut it off the top. Little bit of purple showing. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to take a strip of just copy paper. All right, and I'm going to, oops, that popped out of there. All right, there we go. Ooh, it's just bubbling out. It's ready to go this morning. Ready to go. Okay, I just put a little bit of glue on that, and I'm laying it down on a white piece of paper, and then I'm just going to cut it off. Okay. So now I'm going to lay it underneath. Let me shorten it just a little bit because it's wanting to hook up on my binder clips. There we go. Put it underneath. And what I'm doing is lining let's see, is that going to work? I might have to cut this down just a little bit more. Yeah, that's not quite enough. And it actually doesn't actually even look straight. Let me check it out. No, that's straight. So I'm going to cut just a little bit more off, just a snaggle, because I want a little bit more showing. All right, so let's try this now. So there's that. Oh, put it underneath. There's that. Okay, that's better. Now that I have it right where I want it, I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to put some glue on the white paper and I'm going to glue it down onto my strip. So now they're attached, but I have a place where I can cut that white paper off and still get the cut correct. All right. and they're at the proper distance, so it will look nice once we get it done. Let me just make sure that's dry so it won't move when I unclip my clips. Okay. So now we're going to flip this. Make sure it's face down. And get this up at the top. And centered on the sides. The way we think we're going to want it. And I'm going to clip it with my clips again. Let's see, I don't need to do it around where my... Okay, and then we're going to close it up again. So you see how some of that border comes in to my cut. Now I'm going to place the die into this hole. I might have to, there it goes, it lays down better that way. Find the groove that it belongs in. And now I'm going to take a light pencil mark it doesn't have to be dark. In fact, it's better not to make it dark. Okay, so now I can see where I need to put this bad boy to cut it out. Let's move this out of the way. So get it even all the way around. There we go. There might be an easier way of doing this, and I have truly never really worked with this that much, but to me this is pretty easy. Now, because I don't want it to rip my paper, this is micropore tape. There we go. I'm going to tape this down. Let me get actually 2 pieces so that it doesn't move. Am I still happy? Okay. Oh, I'm gonna, is that gonna fit in here? Oh yeah, it'll fit in here. Thought I was gonna have to get my big one out. Alrighty then. Run it through my vagabond. Oh, come on, get in there. Tell you, ever since I moved this and have it set up all the time, I use it a lot more because it's just so easy. Okay, let's make sure that it cut all the way through, and it did. Good. Get my tape off. Oh, my glue is exploding. I don't like when you do that. Really, I don't. Gets an air bubble in there. Just squeeze, put it back on, and then it sucks it all back down. There we go. Now let me get this tape off very carefully. I don't want to tear my image. Because this is just ink on paper. I mean, it all is, but from my printer, I don't know how much more hardy or less hardy it is than some of the paper lines you buy. Come on, come out of there. There we go. All right. So before I undo everything, I'm just curious. Of course, this will go like this. Up there. right there. Okay, so as you can see right now, it just completely covers the opening. Just completely covers the opening. And I don't really want that. I want it to show the purple on the inside. So a little bit of fussy cutting. You don't have to do this. You can just leave it because the next size up is quite large. I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut this dented place off. Let's see. I'd rather cut this way. And I got to find a good spot to start. Right here. Okay. And I just need to be able to see. It's a little hard on this one paper. I see it going that way, but I don't see it going that way. Well, I can see it right here. So a little harder than I thought it was going to be. Keep your scissor in the same groove. Don't stop cutting, because then you'll get a a spot that didn't cut properly. Just take your time with this. The good thing about it is I can print as many of these as I want. I just don't want to keep going through it. I want to finish this. I am so excited to see it finished. Sorry, just realized I wasn't saying anything. Just trying to get this. Gonna cut that off. Just trying to get this just as good as I can. Boy, I cannot hardly see that here. Let's see. Where is... Here it is. Must be an easier way. Must be an easier way. See, sometimes that micropore tape really hangs on to something. So, if I put that there, Okay, that's not going to help me. But I can see, anyway, how this goes. Right there. Boy, oh boy, guys. I think goes right up here. And over like this. And start up. Okay, that's not real pretty. Let me see. Let me see how I'm doing here. Put this where it belongs. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna clean this up just a smidge. Sorry if I'm off camera, guys, but I gotta get this in my eye. Okay, so I think we've got this right where we want it. Look how nice. Oh, I love it. Love it. So now I'm just going to cut off the white copy paper from both sides, because we don't need that anymore. Okay. All right. So now we can go ahead and glue this down. And glue this down. I might. Oh, it moved. Yeah, I think that's going to give me some nice purple on both sides. Get that up just a little bit. Ah, I can't see what it's doing up here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down. Actually, let me get a little edge on my frame. There we go. All right, now okay. Oh, let's scooch it over just a smidge. There we go. Love it. Okay, now I'm gonna smooch this all the way around, and then we'll do the inside piece. All right, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so this one is going to be done a little bit differently. Excuse me. I went ahead and I put this strip down, and I lifted up my tape backing in order to get it down, but left it on there because I don't want to stick this until I'm ready to stick this. Now, the only 2 pages that are going to have the purple show in between are the front 2 outside fronts. I'm going to go back to covering up on the inside. Okay, so I am so sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the front of this onto this. I have it clipped, and I think I'm for sure that it's right where I want it. This might come down just a smidge. There we go. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right where I want it. Am I going to be able to get that around there? Yes. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to get that around my magnet. So all I'm going to glue right now is the 1/4 inch or 3/4 of an inch right here. So I'm just going to put glue on the very top, about a 1/4 inch of glue. Whoops. Yes, and I had mistakenly cut into this, but I thought I would be able to seal it down pretty nicely. So we're going to put it on the bottom where we're going to want it first. This would be easier if I had this. I see if my no, too tall. Too tall. Oh, come on. I need a little something, something here. There we go. Just to help me out a little bit. Let me grab another one here. Put it here. There. Now I can see what I'm doing much better. So about a 1/4 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch. Whatever's going to be even. And then lay it on here. There we go. Let that catch for a second. Move this. There we go. Making a little too much of an indent on the paper. Okay, so that's where we're going to want it. So I am going to flip it back over. And I'm going to put this back in its slot. Okay. That's going to have to be, it's not perfectly cut out, but, and I'm going to use my pencil. Oops, don't move it. All right. Take those off, open this up, and let's play with this for a minute. So now we're going to line this back up. Just like that. And I'm going to take my pencil Don't let it move. Just take your time. Do little bits at a time. But if you let it move, you'll just have it a little messed up. Okay. So now I'm going to poke my scissor into the center. And usually get a little hunk cut out of there. Then it's much easier. We're going to cut out let's see. Get my scissors underneath and come at it that way, and we're going to cut out just to that line. Try and take your time. I'm videoing and you can hear me. I'd hate to have to go and do this again. Oops. See, this method would have worked on the other one as well, but I didn't think of it until just a few minutes ago. I'm like, well, now I'm going to have to cut the whole thing out again. So I started looking at the die and looking at what I cut out. I said, oh, well, that's just to the end of the outside of the die is what's making the indentation part that we cut out. So here we go. See? You stick with me, I'll get you there eventually. Alrighty, we're almost, well, we're halfway done. This is not the easiest way to cut when you're cutting completely inside of a piece of paper. And cut off your ends as much as you can. It just makes it one less thing you got to worry about. And this is, being watercolor paper, this is a little more tearable. It's more easily torn. How's that? Because I was going to say that doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you're thinking I'm saying, oh, like it's terrible. So, yeah, it's a little, you need to kind of treat it with a little bit of kid gloves. And make sure when you're moving your paper that you're actually making those scissors close, because if you don't, you will rip this paper. You can't just hold the scissors quietly while you're turning, or the paper does rip. All right. Let's see how well we did. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Love it. Love it. All right. I'm going to put an edge around this and an edge around this and put it down. I'm going to make sure I take off my backings off my doodads, and then I'll be back in a second.